Yo, yo, listen up, it's your boy Dirch in the his house. Plan so slick, gonna make your pockets house. I got an app that's gonna change your life. But before you download, let me slice through the strife. They say the earth's a globe, but I beg to differ. I'll make you believe, I'll make you shiver. Spectroscopy needs a container, that's my claim. I've got no clue, I just hang my head in shame. Yo, listen up, it's your boy Dirt H in the his house. That's the horse house. Got a plan so slick, gonna make your pockets house. I got an app that's gonna change your life. But before you download, let me slice through the strife. They say the earth's a globe, but I beg to differ. I'll make you believe, I'll make you shiver. Spectroscopy needs a container, that's my claim. I've got no clue, I just hang my head in shame. But turn up, that's the line I'm preaching. Sell my app is what I'm seeking. Fake challenge, try your luck. While I'm laughing, pocketing a buck. I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer.
Flat earth, that's the lie I'm preaching. Sell my app, it's what I'm seeking. Fake challenge, try your luck. While I'm laughing, pocketing a buck. I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer.
Yo, Dave Weiss is a scammer. Talk about Antarctica, the icy place. Offered a free trip, dangled it in my face, but I won't go. It's not about thrift. I'm staying home, gotta protect my grift. I'm a scammer. I'm a scammer. Yo, Dave Weiss is a scammer. Talk about Antarctica, that icy place. Offered a free trip, dangled it in my face, but I won't go, it's not about the thrift. I'm staying home, gotta protect my grift. I'm a scammer. Antarctica, that icy place. Offered a free trip, dangled it in my face, but I won't go, it's not about the thrift. I'm staying home, gotta protect my grift. I'm a scammer. The scammer, I play the game. Gonna hustle hard, gonna rise to fame. But remember one thing, it's all a ploy. To make that green, I'll be your decoy. So if you wanna join, come take my hand. But beware the tricks, it's all planned. Ditrh, that's my name. In the world of scams, I got the fame.
I'm a scammer.
Welcome everybody to Tuesday Night. I'm your host, MC Toon. Tonight we are going into look at some of a little bit of stuff from Flat Earth Dave the Scammer. Just in case you're wondering, yes, in fact, his app still is insecure. Even though he lies and covers it up, he is involved in an active, aggressive cover-up to deceive people about his app. It does leak. Still today, it's been over 6 months. Has it? October to November, December, January, February, March, April. It's been 6 months since October. Now, he knew 3 years before that his app was garbage, that there was nothing about it that was secure. But he's been trying to just do the absolute bare minimum necessary to squeak by to still sell it. So anyway, we will be covering a little bit of his a recent video he was on, but we've got some other stuff. I'll give you a couple news bits. Later tonight, I've got a Flat Earth escapee. Very excited. Mellow Dome will be joining. He goes by Austin Thompson. He's good friends with Jaron. He's got some really cool videos. So that will be at 10:30 Central Time, depending on when he gets off work and gets home and stuff. So he's on the East Coast, so it's even later for him, but that was the time he wanted, so that works for me. Tomorrow, Craig and Toon, we're up. Thursday night, I got like 5 things that I might do on Thursday, so definitely going on Thursday, and maybe on Friday evening, a debate. We'll see. Those that's in the works. Also, let's see. two other things, just a little taste. Somebody might be doing some really cool experiment. I won't say more than that. With somebody with a flat, kind of a flattish earther. That's all you get. Just a little tease. I will be. And then one more. Somebody has expressed interest in my $100,000 challenge to go to Antarctica. If you don't remember, it is we both put $100,000 in escrow, and if the sun circles for 24 hours a day, I get the money, and if the sun sets, they get the money. Easy, right? There's somebody that has expressed some interest, as you would expect. They are. It's like pulling teeth to get much done. So. FTFE has a Star Trek thing on Friday nights, says Borg Emporia. It will probably be after that. It'll be kind of late, but yeah. Yeah, Star Trek. So yes, may the force be with you. So anyway, everybody, one thing that flat earthers are very good at doing, and I know it will surprise exactly none of you, is they are really, really good at lying. So here's a little meme I found. This was just from today on Facebook. Somebody posted this. Now this is a screenshot from, if you can read it, from 2 years ago, but they don't change their stuff, right? Their memes just get recycled. And what's even funnier is, of course, the same meme will get posted by multiple different Facebook users, even on different platforms than just Facebook. So like they all, like there's somebody that's giving them marching orders. Basically, they're all on this. I think it's Telegram. They're on a Telegram group somewhere. Somebody posts a meme. It's the meme du jour. Then everybody goes out and posts it. Anyway, so this one here, you can see the poster. Read the poster back there, right in the background. And 19 pilots confirm. Look at that, right? Amazing, isn't that? And then this is important. This is from the account, Is the Bible from Heaven? Is the Earth a Globe? Which is the name of Gleason's book. Gleason, who made the azimuthal equidistant pizza map. His book, that's the name of his book. So this is a person that is tugging on the heartstrings of Christians, you know, to be so truthful about the shape of the earth. But do look at this. It's the Airline Pilots Association International. That's the original picture. Some flat earther intentionally changed it to lie to people. And then other gullible idiot flat earthers who are too stupid to do their own research, too lazy, too uncurious about the source of the image, too gullibly indoctrinated to even give the slightest effort to go check. They just repost it. Not only that, when somebody calls them out, do other flat earthers get on their case and say, "What the hell are you doing, you idiot? You're making other flat earthers look bad." No flat earther will call out another flat earther for lying. They just let it go because you gotta lie to flurf. That's an absolute 100% true thing about flat earthers. They lie. They care nothing for the truth. They will post this all day long, right? Now, they may claim ignorance. They may say, "Oh, I didn't know that wasn't true." But are you the indoctrinated one, or are you the woke one that does your own research? Now, you're the indoctrinated one. When you spread a lie, it's your responsibility. You need to take accountability for lying, right? It's on you. Take personal responsibility for your actions. Bill Tatley says, "Thank Titicaca. It's Tuesday. Congrats on winning Top Left 2025, Mike. Well-deserved win." I don't know what you're talking about. That is fake news. Icy Spin says, "Potato scammer liar." Absolutely. We got Judge Rightly says, is McFlatty still AWOL? I'm kind of surprised we can't find him using Dirt's app. Well, he's only got that plastic phone, but good news. He was, well, I mean, not good news. He was at Easter. He showed up. I mean, we were all like, oh, maybe he won't, but then there he goes. He comes in like tracking mud all over the place. It was an absolute mess. Yeah. Anyway, he may be trying to do some YouTube stuff. Sometime soon. We can hope that he doesn't, but knowing McFlatty, he probably will. Anyway, so yes, I can confirm he's back. It only took him, I don't know how many months. Something about, traveling through the raggedy Andes. Yeah, the mountains. That's what he calls them. Anyway, thank you, Judge Rightly, for that. RG sent 20 gifted memberships. Thank you for that. Judge Rightly says for $5, wait, maybe McFlatty's the mastermind behind the Flat Earth movement. Well, I don't think in all of his life McFlatty has ever been called a mastermind. I don't think that we need to worry about that one. And then RG with an amazing $100 here says, let's start the show with a high note and coast down through the derp, lies and grift, laughing all the way. Well, RG, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And well, to start things off, what are we going to do? What do I like to do on a Tuesday?
What time is it? It's time to phone a flip.
All right, here we go. Phoning a flurf. One ringy-dingy. I know you didn't hear the first one. Oh, come on. You got to answer.
Hi, this is Jake. Leave a message and I'll call you back.
No, I won't leave a message. Instead, I'll call this one. Not looking good for this one. Man. All right. Well, nothing there. Don't worry. I got one more. Let me see here. Let me get it. And this one's a bit of a long shot, but we'll see. We'll see if it goes. Come on. We'll see if it happens.
You've reached the voicemail of David Weiss. Please leave your name and number, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey there, Dirthy Poo. It's your best friend, MC Toon. Anyway, and even without my glasses, I'm still MC Toon. So I'll just let you know that your app is still insecure. It's been 6 months. It's still insecure. You're lying to people that it's secure. Dave, that's very naughty of you. Anyway, love you. Bye. All right. Well, there you go. That was...
Time to phone a flip.
So I didn't play it. Steel City JW says you didn't play it backward. No, I play it backward when they call me. So if they call me back, then that's what we get. Anyway, until one of them calls me back, then we're gonna move on to covering one of Flat Earth Dave's videos. Before we go, and maybe a word from Dave.
I'm insane and I'm an idiot.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm sure we all we knew. We all knew Dave. But anyway, so here is so he was on this podcast. It's called the Fantasia podcast. And if anybody wants to get I can get you here, hold on. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab the if somebody wants to grab the URL and pop it in here, because people, there's the YouTube unique identifier for it. If somebody wants to grab that and make a video out of, I would appreciate that. And then make a link out of it. I'll ping your link. First one to do it. So it might be better to not phone a flurf, says iSotter74. I don't know. I've enjoyed it. I hope you have too. Extra J says word may have spread among the Flurf community about being suspicious of Tuesday night phone calls from unknown numbers. Maybe. Anyway, so here is the Fantasia podcast, and he spent a lot of time lying in this particular one. That's not that Steel City JW. That wasn't it. So, all right, here we go.
Howdy, everybody. We've got a really exciting show planned for you today. So I've been, if you've been with me since the beginning, you know that I launched with Flat Earth Dave. And a big part of Fantasia is being open-minded and curious and stretching your credibility so you can grow and make the magic happen. And Flat Earth Dave talks about the Earth being flat. And that's about as controversial an idea as it comes. So
poor lady, she started her podcast with dearth.
If you haven't checked that out, please do that. But today he's back to give us more information about the things that he believes that mainstream people don't know. So welcome back, Dave. It's good to see you.
Thanks. That was your first show? Was that your first?
You were your first. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So anyway, as you watch this, since the link is pinned, you can in real time go and put a comment on there, give a little bit of real time feedback to Dave and what you think about him.
Yeah.
Because he runs a perfect echo chamber. He's got the fastest band finger in the West. So he won't let anybody that's got a dissenting voice comment on his channel. Me, on the other hand, I pin their comments. I put them right to the top. And if people come in, right, I got a lot of moderators, but if people come in here and they start, spraying their derp around, and I'm like, hey, don't block them. We want to see that. So comments are paused. Oh, look at that. She learned from him how to purify the echo chamber. How shameful. Maybe on her other videos, maybe like let's do this. Her most recent video. And if this is the most recent video, then the one before it. Everybody, that's where you go. You say, hey, wow, how come you must have accidentally stopped comments on the dearth video. Anyway, this is my comment for that video. What do you think? Here you go.
Big splash.
Wow, that's when I did my podcast, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, the first one we did was 9/11, which the title of the show was 9/11 is Dave's Baby, and it was a big.
Oh man, can you imagine being Dave's baby? Cody Payne says, do you worry about flirts getting after you for harassment for flowing a flurf? I do not. You can call people, and I live in Minnesota where the rules are that single, only one of the parties, and we call it one party state, only one of the parties needs to give permission, and I give permission. So there you go.
Splash. So,
yeah.
So equally so. And again, I believe the earth is flat. I know it's not flat. I know it's flat and not
a Freudian slip. I knew that was coming. I had watched it. He knows. You think? Does he? Does he know? That's a good question. I think that's something we should have a poll on. Man, comments are paused. And and he says, leave comments on original podcast on his channel. Look at this scum. If you look at the actual video there, on his original, where he purifies the echo chamber. What a trash monkey he is. Wow. All right, well, let's look here. No. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me take that back.
Flat Earthers.
There it is. Okay, better one. All right, hold on. I was mistaken. I gave you the wrong link. So here you go. That was my fault. So the one I gave was actually to Dave's because that's the one I downloaded. But we want to comment on Fantasia's podcast, which is there. That's the link to Fantasia's podcast. She did not stop. She did not turn off comments like Dave did. So there we go. You can all go comment down there. And here's a little tip. If you give a thumbs up to different comments, it sorts them to the top. So if there's a comment you like, give it a thumbs up. And if there's a comment you don't like, give it a thumbs down, and it'll sort them out. There you go. Okay. Sorry for the confusion on that.
Globe. There you go. Freudian slip. There you go. I must know that it's a globe.
Yeah, we know that.
I'm an idiot.
We know that too.
So when we first sat down 4 months ago, and since the final experiment happened over 4 days in December 2024, got to start with that. So the final experiment was an offer by Will Duffy, an American Christian pastor, for an
So somebody asked, Icy Spin, does she have a transcript? This was not recorded and broadcast live. Dave doesn't like to do that. He may have learned a hard lesson back in November when he publicly announced that he was going to be live on a podcast. And somebody showed up. Max got there first. And then I came in and he ran like a constipated wiener dog.
all expense paid trip for flat earthers and globe earthers to experience the midnight sun. And some flat earthers say that if there's a 24-hour midnight sun, then this would disprove the flat earth theory. And it was all live streamed. We all saw it. So Dave, can you tell us if I presented that event correctly and your interpretation of it?
Now let's remember, Dave very specifically before going there, prior to Will doing any of this, had very clearly stated that a 24-hour sun in Antarctica was an absolute impossibility for flat Earth. Completely not possible. He said it multiple times. It's all those videos are still kicking out there. He doesn't get to pretend he didn't say that.
Well, you presented it as it was presented, the final experiment, which is neurolinguistic programming. Then a final experiment stored in your brain as a case, and then if this happens, then that. If that happens, then this. Right. So you're focusing on the result of the final experiment. It's not experiment. It's not final. And it's an observation of a light in the sky. If you believe that the motion now, and by the way, 7-8 years ago, I did say there can't be a circling sun in Antarctica. And
he's admitting to moving the goalposts here, and he's going to try to whitewash it.
I think I'm wrong, but I don't think there is a circling sun in Antarctica. And I think we were deceived. This was a massive deception, but that doesn't even matter. I don't need to prove that, because if you want to believe that the motion of a light in the sky, you have to take it proves the shape of the Earth. You have to take all of the other baggage that comes with it. What do I mean by that?
So here's where he tries to ignore the evidence that was actually discovered there.
You have to believe that helium and hydrogen that defy gravity here on Earth, that are gases, the law and that natural gas law is.
All right, defy gravity. They don't defy gravity. See, he thinks that because they go up, that's a defying gravity, but that's not even close to the case. Gravity is what makes them go up. Buoyancy is the result of gravity. it's always so baffling when flat earthers don't get this, right? I mean, I get it. They never took a physics class. They don't understand geometry, right? These basic things they don't get. So the air around us here, right? This air between my hands has a certain mass. And if you take a balloon that's, here and you put in it helium or hydrogen, well, that helium or hydrogen has a certain mass as well. It has less mass than the air that it displaced. So whatever is the volume of that balloon, that volume of air was had to be pushed aside in order for the balloon to get there. Now, that balloon has less weight, less mass than the air that it displaced. And so then it's just a competition. It's who gets to go down more, who gets to get pulled down more. It's based on whoever has the most mass. So the air has the most mass. So the air goes, I'm going down, right? And the balloon here is like, well, I guess I'm going up. That's because of gravity. It's not defying gravity. It's a result of gravity. And high school physics class would have taught anybody that when to compute the amount of buoyancy, you need gravity as part of it, and you need to know how much was displaced. Right? How much air was displaced? You need to know, right? The factors about that. You don't actually need to know anything about the downward acceleration or the mass of the thing doing the displacing. That buoyant force is independent of whatever its mass is. Now, it's possible that its mass can be more than the mass of the air, like in this can here. So there is a buoyant force on the can, but it's nothing compared to the downward force due to the acceleration of gravity. So I should open this up. Get me a little bit while I'm having it here. So, all right.
Gas violently fills the available space, but violating that law, helium and hydrogen collapse upon themselves and make gigantic 860,000 mile around burning balls in a vacuum.
How is he dumb? He's so dumb. Dave, do you know that you're really stupid?
I'm not smart enough. I'm stupid.
Thank you, Dave. I'm glad that you.
I'm insane. I'm an idiot.
You don't need to interrupt to tell me that. I mean, we already know that.
I'm insane and I'm an idiot.
Yes, Dave. Thank you. Anyway, yeah, we get it. You don't understand.
This violates natural law. Okay, so we're talking about Narnia here. So now we have
Dave, you don't know enough about natural law, so don't be talking like that.
Burning ball of gas, burning 640 billion tons of helium and hydrogen every single day for billions of years, never changed sizes, has enough gravity to hold on to Pluto and Neptune and all the other planets, but ignores our moon.
It doesn't ignore our moon, Dave. So the Earth-Moon system orbits the sun. So the reason why the Earth-Moon system orbits the sun is because of gravity. The sun's gravity keeps us doing that. All of this is well understood in physics. You don't understand physics. You don't have the place to be talking about it.
When our moon comes around the Earth towards the sun, shouldn't it speed up a little bit? When it tries to go away, shouldn't it slow down a little bit?
It does.
Right? So
makes sense.
Yeah, Kepler's laws. Yeah, the velocity of the Earth-Moon system, we'll just say the Earth, orbiting the sun does vary based on how close it is. When it's closer to it, it's faster. When it's farther away, it's slower. But Earth's orbit is elliptical. It's not severely elliptical. It's very close to circular. So the amount of change in velocity isn't really significant. But there are other things that have much more elongated orbits. Comets do, for example.
Literally talking about Narnia land here. If you go to my channel or search on my app for the final experiment debunked, or I forget the name of the video now. It's on my interviews channel, where Marty Leeds and we talk about the technology that they have that exists.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. None of these things actually do exist. He's lying. These technologies don't exist.
For them to actually fake a sun in the sky. right? They can Project Bluebeam. They can project cities into the sky, 8K holograms, right?
None of this.
Microsoft has the technology
None of this.
to project plasma balls that bring light and heat into thin air.
No, they don't.
Okay. There's technology where you can actually put physical objects on these holograms and they will float in the air.
My gosh, he just spews lies. Dave, you're just lying. It's just scum.
I mean, it's beyond what we're talking about. And if you look at this, to think that they couldn't fake it, and I'm not saying that they did. It's something that needs to be looked into more. But you know, that's where my money would be if we were going to bet on it. It's crazy to.
How much money would you put on it, Dave? I'll take all your money. Every single bit of it, you lying filth.
Deny that that's even a possibility when you know, there's so many things about this technology, and I'll say that
there are zero things about this technology. This is what's so crazy. Dave carefully picks his marks. Dave Weiss knows that he needs to have a mark that doesn't have a scientific background at all. He knows that. They need to have no background at all. She's just sitting there like, oh, okay, I didn't know anything about that. Right? Because anybody that has any background in this at all would say, wait a second, Dave, you're just this is just crap. What are you talking about? None of this is true, Dave. But she just sits there. Look at her. She's like, oh, okay, all right. The little squinty eyes, like, I don't know what to believe. She has no clue. Dave is a full-time scammer. He understands how to scam people, because they need to not challenge him when he scams them.
Dave's a scammer. He's just selling apps. He doesn't believe the earth is flat.
Yeah. So that's just his. If you study how scammers scam people, there's I've mentioned before, the TV show, British TV show, I lost it. I lost the name. It'll come to me. It'll come to me in a minute. I mean, I've got it. Hold on. The Real Hustle. The British TV show, The Real Hustle. Go watch all of those episodes. Go watch all of them. Now, I do this for a living as well as a hobby, right? For a living, I do email filtering. And so I see scams all the time. I know what people are doing when they're trying to manipulate people to get, their mark to do whatever they want to do. That's what Dave is doing here. He is messing with her because she's his mark, and he's learned that she won't give any resistance to this at all.
This, several of them I can't talk about because the person that told me about them, if I revealed what he told me, it would lead back to him. Okay, that's all I can say.
Wait, I need to hear that again. Hear my dogs barking? Somebody must have come to the door here. All right, hold on. I need to hear what he said again
about this technology, and I'll say.
Okay. So he's talking about the technology that he knows about.
This, several of them I can't talk about because the person that told me about them, if I revealed what he told me, it would lead back to him.
These people are either don't exist or more likely are lying. They're just screwing with him. It's so easy to fool Dave. He'll just believe anything. So Dave's good at scamming these people, but he's so gullible that he'll believe anything. So it could just be somebody making up crap and telling him, right? When he's like, you can put physical objects on top of a hologram. Of course you can't do that. That doesn't work at all. But he believes that it can happen. That's how dumb he is.
Okay. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. So again, it doesn't matter whether they fake the sun, whether there is some anomaly around the solstice.
There's no anomaly. It's exactly what the globe predicts.
Are several models that could show a circling sun there. I don't know if they're true or not. They're all just theories.
So here's what we have. We've got the globe that very specifically predicted a 13 to 34 degree angular elevation of the sun. That very specifically predicted the angles of the sun throughout each hour of the day and the length of the shadow, and which corresponds to the elevation of the sun for each hour of the day. Very specifically predicts all of that, and it was absolutely, we nailed it. I've got a video of the sundial that I made on my Conspiracy Tunes channel. On the other hand, Dave's like, well, we've got a model that sort of maybe kind of, but not really works. I don't know about it. It's just a theory at this point. You didn't predict anything. It doesn't explain anything. He's talking about Joe Hanvey and his salad bowl, Earth, right? Where it's a dome over the top, right? And the sun is reflecting off of it. Well, if it's a reflection, then you'd see a mirrored sun, right? Well, the sun has sunspots on it, and you can uniquely identify it day to day by these sunspots, and you can identify mirroring versus rotating. There's a very distinct difference between them. We saw the sun rotated, exactly what the globe predicts, not mirrored, what he is saying it has to do. So none of those, all of the oh, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, maybe it's this. We tested all of those, maybe it's this things. Every single one of them was falsified. They don't have even one tiny little bit of a guess as to how it happened. Nothing at all. A well-known scientist. Sorry, he wasn't even on screen for that. Here, you got to see him.
Theories, right? The heliocentric sun is a theory. The heliocentric hypothesis is the craziest thing ever, right? We could say, oh, the suns are projection through the firmament, as all the ancient religions said. It's a
So all the ancient religions did not say that. In general, the ancient religions thought that the sun was an actual physical object and that it went through the ones that discussed it, which aren't very many, but the ones that did discuss how night happened, said that the sun somehow went away through a portal, through a tunnel, fell into the ocean, went on a boat underneath the ground. Somehow it went away and there was a night for everybody at the same time. That's what the ancient cultures generally said. The projection on the firmament, that's not what the ancient religions said.
Focal point of light, as some spacing on the guy's name, a well-known scientist.
Well-known scientist.
He said that the sun that we see is in non-space and it's a transformer from another dimension.
That makes no sense. I'm sure the well-known scientist actually said exactly that, David, that you totally understood what he was talking about.
All these different things. There's certain models that say that the south sun is a reflection off of the dome.
But it can't. We tested that.
All of these things, you say, okay, they're all just theories.
Uncle Charlie says it was Dr. Stephen McScience.
But the craziest theory at all is the one I just told you. The heliocentric sun, hydrogen and helium with gravity in a space vacuum.
That's all matching physics, Dave. That's all. It's way beyond your understanding. It's like 8th grade stuff. So you wouldn't understand it, Dave.
Violating natural law. Okay? Right? You need containment for air. Right?
No, you don't.
You open up a soda, instantly equalizes.
No, it
right?
doesn't. It doesn't equalize. That's the thing. And this goes back. This is their scam. They say it equalizes, but it doesn't equalize. If it did, then certainly, if it equalized, then I couldn't do this. Just a second here. Let me get my barometer app going here. All right, here's the barometer app. Now it's hard to see, but I'll put it right there. It says 14.212. 14.211 is the pressure right there, okay? I'll have it right there. Okay. 14.212. All right, I'm just giving it a chance to all right. All right. Now up here, 14.211. I usually get a couple hundredths of a PSI drop when I do this. So it's gone down just 1/1000th so far. All right. Not a lot. Is it? I don't want it off screen. Oh, do you like the light behind me there? It's a new. That light actually says Radio Shack. All right. All right. Well, it went down. It went up, or it went down by 1/1000th. Let's see what we get. There it went back up. 212. Back up. 211. All right. So we've repeated the experiment. We have non-equalized pressure. Non-equalized pressure. So it doesn't equalize. Have I ever debated Angel? I don't know who Angel is. I've debated a guy that's a Spanish speaker that goes by Angel, I think. Anyway, so Dave is wrong there. Now, it's even worse than that. Yeah, it's a gradient. This here. Now, I still need to make a video with this here, but if you look here, it's sealed on the bottom, and we've got a plate on the bottom here. Angel, the TikTok guy. Oh, I think I've spoken to him a couple times. Anyway, plate on the top, conductive, right? Now, what we do here is this is a carrier. This is made by Leslie Rohrer, and so the phone goes in. I have to take my case off, and then it goes inside here, inside the tube, right? And I'll show you. Flip this. There's magnets around this, right? And magnets embedded in here. So there we go. So now I can put the lid on, put the phone in, put the lid on, and then measure the pressure at the top and the pressure at the bottom. And I can move it up and down. Right? Pretty cool. Pretty cool little thing that Leslie created. And we can see that there is a pressure gradient even when it's isolated from other things. So when flat earthers are like, oh, well, the grass creates air. It doesn't. It converts. Same number of molecules or atoms before and after. Anyway, what's causing that pressure differential? That's what we're talking about. That's our claim. We don't claim that there's zero pressure in space. We claim there's very little pressure in space. And as I just showed you, there's a pressure gradient without a physical container all the way up. What we saw here over this short distance just keeps going. That's it. That's all there is. It just keeps going. Amazing stuff. This is if you had taken a physics class ever, you would be you'd have the background in this. The interesting thing is this kind of information is freely available. If you want it, you can get this kind of information. OpenStax is a company that publishes free textbooks. Free. $0 it will cost you to download the PDF, to just look at it on their website. You don't even need a PDF. Just go to their website. You can get a free high school physics textbook. Just start reading. You can learn it all. You want to lecture? There's people lecturing on those topics online. What you do is you go to Google or YouTube and you type in the title of the section, and you'll find no shortage of lectures on that topic. And then you can stop being a gullible, ignorant idiot. But Dave doesn't want his gullible followers to do that. Dave wants his gullible followers to remain gullible. All right, Barry F says, here's the neatest thing I've heard this week. The Irish are a race that God created mad For all their wars are merry and all their songs are sad. Okay. Golden Knight says, wouldn't Dave's baby be called a tater tot? Oh, yes. Yes, Dave the potato. Yep. Okay. Icy Spin says, spectroscopy requires a container. Never forget. Monkey Cat Pat Pat says, Dave's app requires a container. It does. I have the jar file. It's in a jar. The container's called a jar. Judge Rightly says, Will commented on the original video and she apparently wasn't too happy about it. Yeah, so it seems that Fantasia is a bit of a flatty. Seems that's the case. So, at least flatty leaning. So, yeah, she likes that stuff. Derek the Dullard says, Dave is a pathetic, pathological liar. And that's to be fair, right? To be fair to Dave, I think that he has a mental condition where he actually believes his own lies. Right? Whatever that's called, I think pathological liar is probably it. So, Steel City JW says, didn't you call Tater Tot by accident, thinking it was Dave's number? That's when he was in Mexico. I did call Tater Tot. Well, it wasn't on accident. I have a list of phone numbers that are registered to him. Google. Just enough Googling, you'll find these things. And so that number was at one time in the past registered to him. Turns out today it is the current phone number for Tater Tot. So poor girl, really, think about it. She's got to be, she's got to carry that burden. People, is it your dad, the potato? Yes. See, that's tough. Give her a break, okay? Kango44 says, what a twat. And then Kango44 says, yes, you can project heat-emitting solid holograms into thin air. What an art... forking arsehole. Yes. He's like, I can't tell you who told me because it would get back to them. You were lied to, Dave. Somebody is messing with you and you're too stupid to understand how impossible it is. You couldn't put a physical object on top of a hologram. Hologram is just light projected onto something. It has to be projected onto something. You can't project a hologram onto nothing. There has to be something there. He's like, they can just project it into nowhere. You can't. You need something to project it on. The blue dome, firmament sky, right? But even then, this is what's crazy. You couldn't cause the sun or cause the sky to turn blue, which is what we saw in Antarctica. The sky would not be blue. If you have a dark room and you project a hologram or shine a light onto something that's, over on one side, it wouldn't make the sky blue over there. That's not how things work. All right. We got DP Debunk says, potato looking con man grifting butthole. Dearth sucks. Remember, kids, you're not stupid. Dearth is stupid. I have a t-shirt and hoodie based evidence. I wore for Easter. On Easter, I wore the Witsit platypus t-shirt that DP Debunks designed. It was a good one. Yes, and the platypus is back. He did a couple of videos where he tried, he's dipping his toe into other topics. And but no, his most recent one, he's like, Blue Origin, me. Yeah, he's going back to the flirt. Now you got to remember, when the guy who was the golden ticket winner or finalist, not the winner, who's divorced and his wife is using flat earth as a wedge to fight against him getting custody of the kids, right? My opinion on that guy is that he doesn't deserve his kids if he's going to choose flat earth over the kids. That's my opinion. I stated that before we went to Antarctica, and Austin was very upset about that. And I didn't understand why at the time. And when we were in ALE headquarters, just after we had they told us, what to expect and everything there. Austin started making a stink, and he was telling Will how horrible he thought I was, because I didn't think that he put words in my mouth about it. Right. And my position was, if the guy is choosing Flat Earth over his kids, then he shouldn't get his kids. So turns out, and I didn't know this at the time, more than a year prior, he had the spitting incident with his partner. And that's where, he spit in her face. Police were called. She got a restraining order against him. He's not allowed to go to the house that they live in. He's not allowed to go back home. It states that in the restraining order. Can't go back home. I don't know if he did or not, but certainly at some point after that, he did go back home. He, after that point, had another child with her. So there's the background. But now, fast forward a little more. We got back from the trip to Antarctica about the 20th. So, hey, puppies. 20th of December, maybe 21st. Don't know exactly when he got back. Maybe he was on the 21st or 20th. The video then in March that his partner posted was from the 24th of December, where they had a bit of a back and forth, a nasty back and forth, where he said words to his partner that you would not say to your partner. Called her a whore. He called her a whore and said he hated her. Now, I get people getting a little worked up and saying words that are a bit, aggressive when you're in an argument. But he called her a whore. Now, I don't know. Is that the kind of thing you're like, it was the heat of the moment. Anyway, here's what now looking at that, I'm like, oh. Austin was very upset that I thought that the golden ticket finalist guy, that he should not, that his ex-wife should be pushing to use Flat Earth, choose kids over Flat Earth. And if he won't do that, then don't have the kids. I think this is Austin. Austin saw himself in that. That's what I think. My guess. That he was looking at that and saying, oh, she might do that. She might, for custody, say, oh, he's talking Flat Earth. And so I wonder if he is being cautious about the position, because he hasn't done what Jaron did. He could have just said, I'm out. He could have. He hasn't. And I think that if he was out, he'd say it. But he hasn't said it. We know where he's at, right? And so he had been careful. And so this most recent one where he's talking about Blue Origin, he was a little bit roundabout talking about Flat Earth, right? He's denying space. Space is fake and whatever the stuff they say. So anyway, that's what I think. I think he is thinking that at some point in the future, or maybe this is something happening now. That's an issue now. Don't know. And he doesn't want it to become an issue. So, all right. The dogs are trying to get underneath the desk. Yeah, that's what I'm just not going to repeat it. I'm not going to give light to that kind of talk. It's not nice to people. Regardless of what you think about whether or not that's all right. Excuse me. I'm using my feet to move the pedal. There we go. Because I don't want the dogs laying on it. They're going to lay on it and go. So, Flat Earth Jamar. Oh, precious. I think he's a troll. I think this Flat Earth Jamar is a troll. Okay. that's what I think. That's what I think Austin's up to. I think he's, I don't know. He has been live streaming from the same residence as before. So when people were theorizing that he might have been kicked to the curb, seems that isn't the case. Whether or not they're together, whether or not they're living in the same place, whether or not they're, don't know. No idea on any of that. To my knowledge, none of that has been revealed to me, so I can't, and I'm not going to speculate on any of that. I don't know about that. I just know, I think he's got in mind a concern that might be similar to that guy. Anyway, the mighty Matt TM says this potato would be a lot more palatable with some garlic butter and sour cream. Yes, I'm not a big fan of baked potatoes. Right? I just torched this one. Giga44 says I can't talk about them as I'm just making it up as I go. Yep. All right. I see a comment from Icy Spin. Right? Icy Spin. All right, that didn't work. Hold on.
The person making a positive claim has the burden of proof.
Thank you, Icy Spin, for that. Jack Fetter says, I don't know the secret of cold fusion, but I know the secret of cold fusion, but I can't expose my source. I honestly can't wait for this eventful day when Dearth meets his fate. There's so many things. Now, have you seen Steve from Wormhaven? Steve from Wormhaven has done 2 videos on Dearth. I mirrored one. The second one is out. You go watch it. Go watch it. It's he's talking about the washing and the SEC violation or complaint that he submitted about Dearth doing the washing on his coin and the fraudulent activity that he's done on it. Now, it's a bit of technical stuff that I'm not quite up to speed on what you can and cannot do when you're launching a Bitcoin, whether it's considered a currency or a security or an investment, things like that. I don't know, but Steve does have a bit more depth in that. Really good video, pretty cool. So, iSolder74 says for $2 Transformer, so Unicron. I don't know. Golden Knight says one would think there'd be more pressure near a shoreline because of all the piers. Because of all the piers? I don't know. Lord of Luminous Poo says a virus is making people forget 80s rock bands. No one knows the cure. Yep. Thank you for that. I'll have some Depeche Mode, thank you. Todd's Tech Tale says Dave's scientist whistleblower is true, but you wouldn't know her. She goes to another school in Canada. That's exactly it. It's 100% it. Earthly Skeptic says happy Oblate Spheroid Earth Day, everyone. Oh, that's right. Today is Eartha Kitt Day, who played Catwoman. Love that. She was awesome. Eartha Kitt Day. So cool that they dedicated a day just to celebrate the lady that played Catwoman on the 1960s Batman series. Tim Tully says, I once went out with a girl who worked for the Playboy Club. She was so boring she'd put you to sleep. She was an ether bunny. Oh my gosh. That was a stretch. That was a stretch. And then the one from Icy Spin. All right. Thank you for that. Let's keep going.
You have a box of air in a room that has no air. You open the box, the air instantly fills the room. Instantly. Right? So when you
in a gradient.
When you want to say that the light in the sky dictates the shape of the Earth, you have to take in the fact that it's helium and hydrogen in space. It's 400 times bigger.
Oh, sorry. The audio. Hold on. There you go.
Than the moon. It's 400 times farther than the moon. It lines up perfectly, making eclipses, which the odds of that are 0. And
they don't line up perfectly. So the odds of that don't matter.
Does it every year, and every 18 years, the exact cycle repeats again and again.
Oh my gosh. He just, the rampage of lies. It's not the exact same cycle. Oh my God.
again and again, right? In a gravitational helio-nonsensical BS model. But all
right. So none of that is true, right? It's not an eclipses are not an exact repeating pattern. There is a pattern. It's not exact, and the 18-year pattern is just a very simplistic pattern that gives you the approximate day. That's it. That's all it gives you. Doesn't tell you where. Doesn't tell you what time. It doesn't tell you what hemisphere. It doesn't tell you the width of the shadow for a solar eclipse. It doesn't tell you if it's going to be a full an annular eclipse or a total eclipse or a hybrid eclipse. None of that is part of that 18-year cycle thing. For all of that, you need to know the three-dimensional position of the Earth, Moon, and Sun in space in the future. How do you know that? You can't use flat Earth to do that. It doesn't do it for you.
The eclipses repeat every 18 years through eternity, right? The sky clock is the most accurate clock in the world because the finest Swiss watch is basing time off of the sky clock. But in our best computers that we have, we can't model three gravitational bodies. It's called the three body system, the three body problem, where if you put two balls, like, hey, I got a sun, I got a planet, at these size, this much gravity, and then you could put it in a computer model and say they're orbiting each other, and that computer model will tell you exactly where it's going to be every second.
Yep, yeah, we got that.
For now until eternity.
Yep.
Then you add one more body. You add one more body into that, a moon or a sun or another star or another planet, and the entire thing goes into chaos mode.
No, that's in fact not the case. So for those wondering, the three body problem is what he just described, and so he's describing modeling things in three-dimensional space through three or more bodies using one particular method, just one method, which is correct. We can't model that, but that doesn't mean that it can't happen. It just means we can't model that using that one method, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that it's impossible to happen in reality. It just means that we can't use that one particular type of method to do the analysis. But there are other ways to do the analysis that work. So this is what's really amazing. We did that. We've done that for quite a while, for centuries, and we've put them into a series of ephemerides that have the positions of the Earth, Moon, Sun, and the first 6 or 7 planets in the solar system for centuries into the future, and they're accurate. So coming up, today is Tuesday. On Friday, the Moon, Mercury, and Moon. No, sorry. I think it's Venus and Saturn and the Moon are making a smiley face. That's what the ephemeris predicts. That is predicting the positions of the Earth, the Moon, the Sun, Venus, and Saturn in three-dimensional space. That's 5 bodies, not 3. So the 3-body problem has definitely been solved some way because it was able to predict 5. No, well, we'll see. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe it's wrong. Well, no, of course it's not wrong. It's going to happen. Any amount of money you want to put on it, I'll put on it. That's how accurate these things are. Yeah, Kango 44 says, Christ, 3-body problem can be modeled using numerical integration. There's just no closed form like with 2 bodies. And so that's what he's talking about. So Dave is so ignorant of the actual problem of the 3-body problem that he thinks that because we can't do it with a closed solution, that it can't actually happen in reality. That's what he's trying to say, and that's how dumb he is.
3 equal-sized bodies. This is a computer modeling what they would do. And after a very short period of time, they go into what I call chaos mode. You never know what it's going to do next. You can guess what it's going to do a couple seconds from now, but you can't guess what it's going to do a minute from now.
Using one a closed solution, but you can with numerical methods.
Right? So this is what our solar system would be doing. But our solar system is making beautiful, perfect spirograph patterns. And they're, without getting...
What patterns are they making, Darth? What are they making? Spirograph patterns over the flat pizza? You don't even know what... This was ridiculous. They're making beautiful spirograph patterns, Dave says. Where are they? Show us them over flat Earth.
Into it, there's a 2,000 years ago. Well, they found a fossil off of Greece, off the island of Antikythera, and they called it the Antikythera mechanism. And it
oh my gosh, get ready for the lies.
It was a computer gear-based model that shows you exactly where all the eclipses happen, where all the planets are, the phases of the moon, everything. And it's the most accurate computer that we have to this day. It models everything from 2,000 years ago, and it's still deadly accurate today.
Oh my gosh. He just spews lies. The lie rampage here. Like it's pretty good for what it did. Pretty good. It used sorrow cycles, and it used a couple other cycles to do some better than getting the day of the eclipse. It did things to get like the hemisphere, I think, and the whether it's likely to be a partial or total eclipse, things like that. But it didn't say where. It didn't model the positions of anything. He just says these things with zero effort into making sure that they're correct.
They rebuilt it. They used MRIs and X-rays, and they literally rebuilt it. And it's amazing. But you don't hear about this.
Because it's a lie.
Because they don't want you to know about it. So the final experiment is, again, it's a neurolinguistic programming. Hey, this is the final experiment. Well, I have two choices. It's called a false binary. That trip was designed for...
Oh, here comes his ego.
For me. Because me with my app has been literally causing them, waking up too many people. So they wanted to...
lying to too many people.
Take it down. And I instantly saw through the false binary and said, absolutely not. I'm not interested. Take a hike. But I know I'm talking a lot, but I want to talk about a real final experiment.
Oh, a real final experiment. Until it's done, when he'll run away from it too.
Right. And nobody has come up with anything that says that this won't work. So this is a gyro, a 3-axis gyro, it's a gimbal gyro, right? It holds rigidity in space, right? So if I had this gyro on this hallway and I walked down the hallway, it would stay level with the floor, right? If I did somersaults, it would stay level with the floor, right? If I turned it sideways, it would point straight down the hallway as I walked down the hallway. Now, if that hallway, it was a left-hand turn at the end, I would turn, but the gyro would stay focused this way. I would now be walking this way with the gyro, right? Instead of this way, right? So that's the nature of a gyro, right? So on a ball Earth, north to south are straight lines. So if you use a gyro, an upright gyro, aligned it with north and south, and you went from the North Pole to the South Pole, anywhere, the gyro would stay aligned with magnetic north perfectly. Okay. The problem is in the north, when you follow a line west, you have to constantly keep turning to the right to maintain that heading. Now, that's true on a flat Earth and a globe Earth, right? Because let's say on a globe, you're a mile from the North Pole.
Oh my gosh,
so
Dave.
your North Pole is there, 90 degrees, right? North Pole is right there, 90 degrees. So west would be 90 degrees to that. And if I tried to go that way, I have to keep turning so my North Needle would stay to the North Pole. Do you understand?
Yes.
Right.
No, she doesn't. He chose her because she doesn't understand.
So east and west are circles around the north. Doesn't prove flat Earth. because it's the same on both. Globers don't like going down this path because they know where
There's no problem with it at all, Dave. No problem at all.
it's going. So let's say this is New York. I'm going to California, going around, and I have to constantly keep turning to the right. You won't even notice that turn. If you were on a track that was 1,000 miles around,
Oh my gosh,
you
Dave.
would think you were going straight, right? You'd think you're going straight. You wouldn't even notice the micro turns, especially if you're an airplane in the sky. However, in the South, when you go west on a globe, you have to turn to the left.
But now planes don't do this. Planes have no reason to follow a line of latitude like that. Stay on it. Why would they do that? If you're at one point, you want to get to another point, you just stay on that particular line. You take a great circle route. That's what planes do. You want to minimize the amount of time in the air. You want to minimize how much fuel you're burning. So what he's describing here isn't how any plane ever would fly unless they had a real reason to.
Maintain that heading of 270, right? You have to turn to the left, right? And so,
all right, Dave, did you do this experiment?
that doesn't happen. You turn to the right. Now, do we have evidence of this? There's many
No, you have no evidence of this, Dave.
Navy ship captains that always talk about when they're trying to dead reckon east or west in the south, they're trying to dead reckon and they have to keep turning to the north, not to the south.
Oh my gosh, Dave.
And they're
Where's your citation on this? Nowhere. So here's what Dave does. Dave finds some other idiot that said something, and then he sort of listens and kind of understands it a little bit, and then he just parrots it. He doesn't understand what the original liar was talking about, and he doesn't know their citation. He didn't look at their citation. He did not do his own research. He parroted what somebody else said. That's how lazy Dave is.
told, don't worry about it by their admirals. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just keep doing your job, right? So this would be a final experiment. That would be a final experiment, right? On a flat Earth, you got the equators right here. So you got a plane in the north and a plane in the south. They both have to keep turning to the right to maintain that heading of 270 degrees west. There's your final experiment. It would take one day. It would take one airplane.
Do it, Dave.
In the south and a gyro. And we were actually very close. We had a guy that had private jets, money. He was about to buy the gyro that we needed. It was $6,000. He disappeared.
What do you mean disappeared?
Oh my gosh. Who is this, Dave? Is it your girlfriend that goes to a different school in Canada?
Can't find him. Disappeared. Went radio silent on me. Now, I could theorize all day what happened. They could have said, hey, buddy, if you continue down this path, you're going to be poor, right? Super
Or Dave's lying.
rich guy. What's the best way to control a super rich guy? Make him poor. Okay. You know, they could have threatened his family. They could have done anything. They just, maybe some tragedy happened. I don't know, but he disappeared.
Wow,
Weird.
Dave.
Really weird.
Because he goes to a different school.
We were on a private encrypted server talking to each other, and he disappeared.
Wow.
Right? You have to turn to the right, but on a globe, this plane would have to turn to the left, as I showed earlier. Now, there's a final experiment. You want to see another one?
Sure.
Do it, Dave. Come on.
So, where is my other one? What was my other one? I thought
Let's do it, Dave. Al Bergen, fess up, tune. It was you. No, I tell you I only did one kind of messing with them, and that was right away when I first started doing this with the OSI. Go look on my website. You'll find it's one of my earliest videos. We leaked because so Ranty Flat Earth had claimed that because Simon Dan got a whole bunch of subscribers in a short amount of time, one of his videos went viral. But Ranty had claimed that people were, propped up by the government. They were, the government was giving them views and subs and everything. And so what did I do? Well, I few of us got together. We created a fake getting paid thing and like leaked it in 2 spots. And it's actually, no, where'd I put it? It's behind. All right, so you see the maps up here? It's way up. You can't see it. It's way up behind the maps. You can't even see it if I were to move the camera, so it wouldn't matter. Am I dropping frame? My CPU is low. Icy spin. I'm outputting 600 kilobits, 6,000 kilobits per second. Why am I? Yeah, my CPU is really low. So I don't know. Dave said they were talking in a private encrypted app. Can we find them on Dave's app? Well, Dave's app is neither private nor encrypted. It's all unprivate and very unencrypted, even your password. Anyway, so yeah, that was it. The other people have done things, feeding them crap, and they just buy it. They don't validate or anything, they want to believe so badly that they'll just take anything at all and just take it, accept it.
Well, my other one is, wow, where did it go?
Come on, Dave, find it. You can do it.
Oh, that's not it.
Come on.
So did that make sense to you? Did you follow that completely?
I did.
100%? Yeah.
Yes.
No,
they want to look at lights in the sky. See, Globers only want to talk about people from thousands of years ago. Eratosthenes figured it out.
I did it myself, Dave. I've done it myself multiple times. I did it in Antarctica, in Punta Arenas. I've done it in Lake Tahoe. I did it in Minneapolis multiple times. Multiple peoples all around the world have done the same measurement as Eratosthenes, and every single time it matches the globe. It does not match flat Earth. The geometry doesn't match flat Earth. Flat Earthers like to say it works on flat Earth, but no flat Earther has ever actually shown how it works. Never once.
And they want to talk about lights in the sky. Well, first you have to validate what these lights in the sky are, right? And we can prove that the lights in the sky aren't what they say. Well, first, the sun violates natural law, and all of the stars, not only do they violate natural law, they violate perspective.
Oh my
we
gosh.
Could not see Polaris if it was two light months away.
So dumb.
Light months, the distance
He's
light
such
travels
an idiot.
in 2 months, because the angular size would make it smaller than the smallest star. And
so here's what he's talking about. He's taken the angular width of what Polaris is, or maybe a sun. I don't know exactly what he started with, but he took the angular width of something that was large. And then he's like, oh, if it's this far away, it's too small. But he doesn't understand how point light sources are seen. You can take a flashlight, right, that's a certain size, and move far enough away, if it's bright, move far enough away that the angular size of this flashlight is smaller than the angular size that your eye can resolve. You'll still see the flashlight. The light still gets to you. You just can't see that it has any width more than just as small as possible. You still see the light. He doesn't understand that. He gets confused between perspective, angular size, and how light actually travels. The light still gets to you. You still get to see it. It just doesn't have any size.
we wouldn't be able to see it. But they tell us it's 433 light years away. Right?
Where does these numbers come from?
People that are smarter than Dave.
I mean, it must be based on something.
Yes, it is.
Where do these numbers come from?
It is.
Like the sun is this far away. That
it is. What's Dave going to say? He doesn't understand this topic in the slightest. What's he going to say?
Polaris is this far away. It has to come from somewhere.
Yeah, it comes from mainstream science. They made it up. Basically,
they made it up. That's it. They made it up. He says they just made it up. Well, let's go a couple things here. The distance to the sun has been measured, and one of the particular high quality measurements of the sun was based on the transit of Venus. And there's some actual geometry to that. That wasn't made up. That's the actual application of geometry. Now that requires some other things to have been measured as well, which have been measured. So that there's a sequence of things that build on each other, right? You need to learn. You need to first make a yardstick before you can measure a yard. right? You have to define the length of a meter before you can define the length of a centimeter, right? You do that, right? There's this building. So you've got a way to measure distances now. Then you need to be able to measure across the surface of the earth. And that was done in the 1600s, 1700s very accurately. On my website, mc2.net/r, I've got a list of about 12 to 15 measurements of the essentially what turned out to be the meter. They're looking at the distance between lines of latitude. So that's at the bottom of the page. At the top of the page, I've got 6 measurements of the radius of the Earth, and then at the bottom, I've got a list of measurements of the distance between a line of latitude. So, which they're essentially measuring the same thing. So you get that. Then you can do things like measure the distance to Venus, measure the distance to the moon, and then that gets you the distance to the sun, right? One way to get the distance to the sun is the transit of Venus. You can do it a different way by looking at Mercury. You can do it a different way looking at Mars. You can do it a different way looking at the moon. You can do it a different way by bouncing radar off the sun. All of those, every single one of those different lines of evidence agree. That's the thing. They weren't made up, Dave. They're actually measured, and people who have accountability for their actions and don't just get to say they made it up actually went to work and figured these things out. So the distance to the sun was figured out that way. Okay. Then what's the actual size of the sun? Well, once we know the distance to the sun, we know the angular size of the sun. We can determine the physical size of the sun, the diameter of the sun, because the relationship between the angular size, how far away it is, and its linear width, those things are able to be determined. Now, what's the mass of the sun? Well, we can get the mass of the sun by knowing how long it takes to orbit the sun. Right? It takes 1.25 years of a day, right? 365.2425 days, right? 249 something, right? Not quite 1/4 of a day. It's a little less. So like every other 200 years that we have a leap year on a 200 or a 100, right? We don't do it. So the year 2000, we had leap year. The year 2200, we will not have a leap year. You might not know that. Unlikely that a lot of us will be still kicking at the time, but that's something that they will have as a special thing in the year 2200. So we can, now knowing that, the relationship between centrifugal force and centripetal force, we can determine the mass of the sun because of the centripetal force that it applies on us. Okay? That's how we know the mass of the sun. That gives us and we can confirm that by looking at the orbital period and the distance from the sun of other planets, Jupiter, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Those other things, then they're different lines of evidence to get the mass of the sun. And we're talking about the distance to Polaris. Now, how do we get, or other stars? How do we get that? Well, we know the size of the orbit of the Earth around the sun. So we've got the sun in the middle, we've got the Earth here, we've got the Earth here. We know this distance here, right? And since we know this distance, we've measured it. We didn't make it up, we measured it. Multiple lines of evidence, they agree. So then we look at stars. And it wasn't until the 1800s, 1830 something, that this was measured for the first time. I'll tell you in a second here. So it was Bessel. So parallax, Friedrich Bessel, 1839. I said the 1830s, didn't I? Friedrich Bessel measured the parallax of star 61 Cygni to be 0.314 arc seconds. Now, a couple things needed to be determined. Some technology needed to be figured out before that. The ability to measure more precisely than 1 arc second. We needed to be able to measure angular movement of stars to, 0.3 arc seconds. And prior to that, we didn't have the ability to do that very well. And so that technology needed to be moved forward so that we could do that. So Bessel did that. So now once we know that parallax in comparison to distant stars behind it, right? So we've got the very distant stars that do not move. We cannot identify any movement of them. It's because they're so far away, and that amount of shift left to right is so small that we can't even identify it. So it's orders of magnitude smaller shift than 61 Cygni, for example. So that gives us, then we know the orbital width, and then we know the shift, and that gives us a parallax, and we can get the distance to that star. Very cool that we can do that. So after that, it kind of opened the floodgates from 1839 by Bessel. We've got Alpha Centauri was measured later in 1839. So Bessel did it, well, it was January, still January. Alpha Centauri was published. Sirius was published in November 1839. We've got Professor Henderson measured, which one? Parallaxes of certain southern stars. You can find this on my website, mctoon.net/Earth Around the Sun. I should have just called it Orbit. But there it is, the link. Let's see. Then later, just a collection. I just kind of have a collection. We've got parallaxes of 23 stars determined from plates taken with the McCormick 26-inch refractor. And that was published in, I think, the late, that's 1973. These aren't in order by publishing date. Some of them are a little bit out of order there. But anyway, 1842 was the one of the southern stars by Professor Henderson. So anyway, there's a collection of them. So that's how, so we've measured the parallax. That's how we know the distance to them. So we built on this. None of this was made up. All of this was done by people that knew what they were doing, and by other people that are like, well, let me see if that works, and testing it for themselves. So validating it, repeating it, and then going and saying, well, you know what? Bessel measured 0.314 arc seconds. Was that right? Let me go and check. They found, oh, you know what? He was very close, but we did this. We got a little better measurement. And they found that while he was good, it wasn't exactly 0.314. That was the first one. It was the seminal measurement. And they found, I don't know exactly, it was slightly different. So none of that is made up. He's the one making it up, right? And Dick Wayne, I blew Dick Wayne's mind. Hey, I get it. Thank you, Dick. It's over your head. It's okay. Maybe someday you can understand if you really apply yourself, maybe read up a little bit on some geometry, because the geometry here, it's not too difficult. I think that with probably high school level geometry, which is, about 10th grade, you could probably get a good understanding of it. I'd certainly want you to really get the trigonometry, go through high school algebra 2. And if you want a book on high school algebra 2, OpenStax might have it. Let's see here. Let's see if OpenStax has find your subject. Let's see. I don't want business books. Computer science. There we go. Math. There it is. Look at that. Look at that. Algebra and trigonometry. Close that up there. We've got right there. Now, is this algebra and trigonometry 2E? And we've got calculus. This is getting to college level, though a lot of people take calculus in high school. So we've got calculus, then college algebra, right? We're past you. We've lost you already there. Anyway, here you go. Here you go. I'll link this to you, Dick Wayne. There you go. You could choose to not be ignorant anymore. But it's up to you. You would have to want to learn. The grumpy old mechanic says timing the eclipses of Jupiter's moons and reversing Ole Romer's measurement of the speed of light. Oh yeah, that's on the page. I got Ole Romer's on there. So, oh geez, okay, I got a few super chats to catch up on here. We got Barry F says people who hate baked potatoes are the same ones that hate bagpipes. I don't mind them, just ignore them. I don't hate baked potatoes. If I'm gonna have something, I'm gonna choose something else, usually. But if that's what's for dinner, I'll have it. Do you have a whole bunch of butter? Because I want a 1-to-1 ratio of potato to butter. That's the ideal. Also, if you're eating grape nuts, the same ratio, 1-to-1 of grape nuts to sugar. That's what makes it palatable. Icy Spin says every time I look at her, I think of Candace Taylor. Oh yeah, she's got the Candace Taylor. This is amazing. This guy's smart. He makes us go. That's what she looks like. She says, yep. All right. Okay. Remember, when you time out 33, you got to do it for 10 seconds. Okay. But thank you 33 for coming along. We love playing Whack-A-Troll. And now that King Crew has won, was that who won? Whoever won timing out 33, you got to let somebody else. You got to give everybody else a chance. 33, come on. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. He gets to come back. There it is. All right. Borg Emporia dropped it to 10 seconds. There you go. 33. You can come back. Let's hear it. Earthly Skeptics' word salad divorce notice. Prior recalibrations of our thermodynamics magnetospheres have failed. Initiated decoupling due to centrifugal discrepancies. That'll definitely work, and I'm sure Witsit will do well in court, doing all of his defense himself because he is legally adept. How do I know that? Because he said it. Lord Illuminous Poo says the 3-body problem only occurs if you have a twin bed. There's another thing that has to happen in order for that to happen. Lord Illuminous Poo, you got to have enough attraction to get to the point where there are 3 bodies. Anyway, never mind. Iceotter74 says Lagrange points says otherwise. Yes. Just not understanding is like, they're like, the 3-body problem exists, therefore it's not possible that this could happen in reality. That's what he's trying to say. That's how dumb he is, how ridiculous this is. Even if we couldn't model it numerically, it doesn't change the fact that it exists in reality. Kinko44 just said that. Thank you. Jay Donashi says, are you calling Dearth a potato because he's like a vegetable, can't do anything, can't do things that require thought or conscious intention? He cannot speak or follow commands like most flat earthers. No, it's because you can't tell the difference between him and a potato. Potatoes have eyes and their heads are shaped the same. Though when he wears glasses, it's kind of a giveaway because potatoes rarely wear glasses. Earthly Skeptics' 3-body problem is chaotic only when sizes are same. Is that the case? I didn't know that. If that's the case. But either way, you can address it a different way. Liquid Flame says that's one of the dumbest things he's said. The sky clock is only accurate because we base all our timekeeping on it. Yes, timekeeping is a human construct. The sky doesn't care, dummy. Yeah, and that's one of the things that Nathan Thompson likes to say. The sky is a perfect clock. It's actually not. It's not that perfect. Because the sun and the moon cycles, they don't align very well, right? There's a giant discrepancy. Like Easter is a different weekend every year. Why? It's because when Easter happens is based on what is it? I looked it up. So you have the solstice. It's the first Sunday after a full moon after the solstice. I think that's right. right? And it's different every year. This year it was the 20th. The latest that can happen is the 25th of April. The earliest is the 22nd of March. That's not perfect. It shuffles all over the place. Jack Fetter says, other than converting oxygen to CO2, what is her role? I don't know. She's just a vehicle for him to spread his lies, I guess. Kango44 has a link to New Science. It's antikythera mechanism. Ancient computer gears may not have been able to turn. I'll link that. What did Dick Wayne say? Hold on. Gary IOW. Let's see what he said. Did he go there? It's observed daily for everyone. There are periods of day, periods of night, sun, moon, wandering stars, fixed stars are always circling above the earth. That's fine. Why don't time him out for that? Let him say that. Right? I mean, he's obviously really dumb. Dick Wayne is dumb. Right? But no, DP debunks. You don't get a whack a troll with Dick Wayne. Okay? It's just 33 right now. There's some others that sometimes show up, but they haven't been around for a while. So Dick Wayne is the, remember, it's nice to have the don't be like this idiot example, right? We need that, right? Right. People that have kids, like, look right here. Don't be like this guy. Son, daughter, go look. This is a negative example. We need negative examples so we know what not to be, right? Nobody wants to be like Dick Wayne. The poor guy, I mean, have some pity on the guy. He gets up every day and he's dumb. He goes to bed at night and he's dumb. And he's so dumb he doesn't know he's dumb. And he's too dumb to ever realize that he's dumb. And we tell him he's dumb. And he's so dumb he doesn't even realize that he's dumb when we tell him he's dumb. Imagine living that life. That's gotta suck. Right? iSolder74 says it's because it's based on the Hebrew lunar calendar that has a leap month. Exactly. The sky isn't a perfect clock, right? You can pick a lunar calendar, you can pick a solar calendar, you can pick calendars where you could say, well, let's pick a Martian calendar or calendar based on the position of Pluto, right? You could base all of your things based on any of those things. But none of them line up with anything. How would it be perfect? It is a set amount of time. That's not just because it's a set amount of time doesn't make something perfect. It's such a ridiculous thing. Steel City JW says DP Debunks dedicated a whole Discord channel to Mr. Wayne. See, that's what we need. Right? We need those negative examples, and we need to collect them for future generations to look at and say, oh, dear God, people were that stupid? Like, back then, back in 2025, yeah, there were people that stupid. I can't believe people were that stupid, and they still lived. Yeah, they still did. I mean, their mommies needed to feed them. And sometimes needed to help change their diapers, but yeah, they managed to get along. We completely flipped survival of the fittest on its head. These people were so dumb that, given just natural selection, they could not have survived to adulthood, but basically we cheated natural selection and got him to adulthood somehow. How did that happen? It's, yeah, it's probably, it's humane, right? To not, back, if you watch the movie 300, right? That was inhumane. And I don't know if Dick Wayne would have survived. He might have been, right? But, we have pity on people like that. And, that's, give them a little bit of mercy. So anyway, let's see. Ancient computers' gears may not have been able to turn. The 2,000-year-old antikythera mechanism may have been an astronomical calculator, but researchers are unsure whether it would have worked without jamming. Interesting. Okay, so I have to subscribe in order to read it, which I'm not about to do, but thank you for that. That link there, Kango44. If anybody wants to read it, It looks pretty cool. Barsby says if you do this and if you do that, but if I do this and then that doesn't happen. Now, if you do this, then they are wrong. Okay, Dave. Yes. Ice74 says he's just parroting Dubé, who's parroting Sam Robotham. Yes. Well, that's it. I've got up in the upper left here, on the top left here, you can see I changed there at a different orientation. I got a bookend. It's an astronaut holding back the stupid, right? He's stupid, stay this way. And on the other side, there's another astronaut holding back the stupid on the other side. Good job, astronauts. Keep it up. But yeah, I've got Rowbottom's book. I've got Carpenter's book. I've got Gleason's book up there. I've even got Souls Are Stars' book. I got Dubé's book. I got, man, like I want to get the complete derp collection. All of them there. So, CK wants to play Whack-A-Troll with 33. Well, CK, oh, hey, okay, hold on. Well, let's do it. Hakeem's book. Oh my gosh. All right, CK, everybody. Next time 33 is around, CK gets them. He's got dibs. CK's got dibs. Oh my gosh. Like I probably should I said I wanted the complete collection. Oh, there's Belladome. Belladome's coming on later. It says I converted my P1000 to a flat earth killer. I got my P1000 down there. All right. Liquid Flames has got next. You guys can argue about dibs on your own. Mr. Gustafson for 100 sex. Love the sex. Says Shifty, stay strong. Craig, stay funny. Toon, stay smart. And the rest, stay beautiful. There you go. Stay beautiful. Talking specifically about you, King Crew. Stay beautiful. Isotter74 says Witsit, and then some words that are not in English. What is this? Hold on. Translate. Detect language. It looks like it is in Swedish. Must learn to talk fish. Witsit must learn to talk fish. Okay. DP Debunk says permission to play Witsit. Oh, I already got that. Okay. Thank you. Let's keep going here.
They said, hey, Venus is going to transit in front of the sun, right? It happens.
Yes.
We've seen Venus
Yes.
transit in front of the sun. There's lots of problems with that. And
There's no problems with that at all. There's a problem with that for Flat Earth, though.
we had people watch it from New York and people watch it from California, and they started and ended at different times. Huh. So
I'm gonna need a citation for that one there, Dearth.
So considering that Venus is about the same size as Earth,
Yep.
we can calculate
Little
using
smaller.
some really good math
Yep.
how far away it is based on the start and stop time.
Yes.
Right? Because, you know, when I say
Yes.
it's transiting in
Okay. Dick Wayne says, how much have you grifted tonight? What is your AGI? I don't know what AGI is. Average grifted income. Asking for a friend. Thanks. Well, okay. So let me do a little math here. Just a second. I'm gonna have to gotta get the old calculator out. Oh, all right. Here we go. Got the HP 48. There we go. This, and then I gotta take in the NASA payroll plus, and then oh yeah, the Neil deGrasse Tyson benefit, and okay, and then Bill Nye, like he thinks he gets paid, but I'm just like, hey Bill, I'll get it for you, and I'm like, you're good, Bill. There was nothing this week. He's like, again? I'm like, yeah, nothing this week. I got that. Got to add that in. And then the tariff on stupid. That's big. $18,700,043 tonight. So looking good, Dick Wayne. So anyway, there it is right there. I don't know if you noticed or not, but my HP 48SX doesn't work anymore. It does not work anymore. I had it in my toolbox and it stopped working. But here's the cool thing about the 48SX. It's got, this comes off, it's expandable, and it's got a memory card. This is the memory card I bought. It is a 128K of SRAM. Oh yeah, this thing was hopping. And the really cool thing is you had to put in a battery because when the calculator was off, it needed a battery to keep the memory in place. And let's see, I have not put in a new battery for a while. Here it is, the little button. I think it's a 32. Is it a 32? I don't know. Anyway, there it is. Put it back in. Anyway, so I had this, and it has a slot for 2 cards. I had an electronics circuit and the analyzing card that I sold to somebody when I was still in college. There it is. Doesn't work anymore. So what did I do? I bought myself a replacement. It's a 48. It's a 48G, not a GX, a G, and it works. I bought it used. It's right here. It's in my 48SX case right here, and it works. Can you see? It's got actual numbers on it. There it is. You can see it. So this is the calculator, in fact, that when I'm teaching algebra, math, physics to my kids, they use this. I've taught them to use RPN to do math. Yes, I have. I think it's pretty cool. They know how to do it. They know how to do the RPN. I definitely prefer RPN. In fact, on my phone here, watch this. You're gonna love this. Here's my phone, right? This is my calculator on my phone. It's an emulator of the 48 SX or S, not SX, because it doesn't have an expansion card. There you go. That's the calculator on my phone that I use. And of course on the computer, on the Mac, you can do an RPN mode. I do that as well. So there you go. Slipsticks Rule says Stéphane Venny Enev for $7 Canadian dollars. Whatever that is. Slipsticks. What are slipsticks? I don't know what slipsticks are. And it looks like that went away. The Sun Express is HP calculator programming stream. When? You know what I did? When I specifically remember being in statistics class. And I would sit there in statistics class writing code on my calculator. That's what I did. I wrote programs on my calculator in the programming language is called RPL, Reverse Polish Language. And I would write programs on it in class. That's what I did. In statistics class, and it contributed to having a little bit of a challenge and in like the second and third test in statistics class, because I wasn't quite paying enough attention, and it was a little bit of a wake-up call. I'm like, oh, like, yes, I can. The first test, I'm like, well, it's easy. I can take the average, the mean, median, all that stuff, standard deviation. Got it. Not hard. And then like second and third tests, I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta have to put a little more to it, right? It's not complicated math, but the processes are necessarily kind of a challenge. You need to do it the right way and understand what you're doing. So, because I was writing code on there. So, all right. So Austin, so Melodome says he just got home. All right. So here's what we'll do. in 40 minutes, we'll start the next one. I'll keep going on this with the potato boy here. And so get yourself ready, and then we'll start about 11:30 Eastern time, Melodome. So, all right. Is that it? No, I'm got to. Icy Spins to CK brings all the boys to the yard. Does CK? I don't know. I don't know anything about CK, other than CK is active in DP Debunks' streams, as far as I know. William Foley says, I use a F15C emulator on my phone. Slipstick equals slide rule. Oh, if only I had a slide rule. Oh, I do have a slide rule. This is a trigonometric slide rule, sine, cosine, tangent. There you go. But yeah, I mean, I don't use it much. This is before my time. Never used the slide rule for real. I've only just like learned how to do it out of nostalgia. So, all right. So there we are.
In front, right? I got this. There we go. It's translating in front, but somebody over here would see it at a different time, and somebody over here would see it at a different time, right? Mm-hmm. So what's the problem with that equation? Let me give you an example of a similar equation. You have $1 million in your checking account right now. Tomorrow I'm going to double it, and then the next day I'm going to double it again, and the next day I'm going to double it again. How much money do you have in your checking account?
$8 million.
Do you?
Well, you doubled it once. That's
if I
two.
doubled the million that you have in your bank account, right? You have in your bank account, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do? You have $1 million in your checking account?
You said I did.
Well, they said Venus is the same size as Earth.
Oh my gosh.
It's an equal statement to you having $1 million in your zero interest checking account.
Got it.
Okay. So
it's been measured, Dave. It's been measured.
So they just make shit up.
Got it.
They make shit up. So here's my other one. So
that was it. That was his only thing. He's like, they just make it up. The first time it was measured, there was the hypothesis that it was the same size. Yeah. Since then, it's been determined to have to be smaller and to have a rather similar size. So again, the link mc2.net/Earth Around the Sun has a survey. I'll put it in here. A radar survey of planets and their distances, and you can get the sizes from that. I'll read this from Dick Wayne. Can you explain the science behind stalking and sending Scum's wife an email? What was your hypothesis and prediction for the outcome? So here's what happened. Scum, David Kane, pure Scum, was one of the people on Keith Reynolds' panel when Keith Reynolds was making false and defamatory accusations about Lisbeth. And Scum just sat there laughing. Scum sat there laughing while Keith Reynolds made very false, knowingly false, defamatory claims about somebody. He just sat there. So there's crossing the line. That's crossing the line. Dick Wayne. That's crossing the line. You cross the line, and there's going to be real world consequences sometimes. Okay? So you want to talk about the shape of the earth? Talk about the shape of the earth. Don't cross the line. Okay? You're going to make false accusations about somebody being a prostitute? That's crossing the line. You are scum. You don't get a pass anymore. You don't get to say, oh, what was the hypothesis of that experiment? It's not an experiment. It's not a joke. It's serious to make that type of accusation. Okay, Dick Wayne, you think it's funny? Think it's funny that somebody does that? Dick Wayne, you're an idiot. You are scum, Dick Wayne. Flat earthers are disproportionately scum. Why are so many flat earthers scum, Dick Wayne? Why are you such a scummy piece of trash, Dick Wayne, that you would defend that type of behavior? You're sick in the head. You're mentally ill, Dick Wayne. That's the problem. You are mentally ill. David Kane, The felon is mentally ill. Keith Reynolds is mentally ill. PJ Cruikshank is mentally ill. Roger Ledwell is mentally ill. The rest of the people on the panel that sat there and let the accusations like that just go are mentally ill. In decades past, every single one of them, including you, Dick Wayne, would be in an asylum. Okay? Laws changed. Money started saying, well, we don't have the money to house these people anymore. Yeah, it's tough having paying money to house these people. Plus, involuntarily housing them is a challenge. There's a high bar for that, as there should be. But in the past there wasn't. And you would be in that place, Dick Wayne, because you are mentally ill. And those other, David Kane, mentally ill. Max says, I texted Lisbeth, those claims really affected her. Yes, they did. She was disgusted by it, as she should. She did nothing of the sort. Why would anything like that cross their mind? Why would that cross your mind, Dick Wayne? That you would think that somebody making such an accusation would just be, oh yeah, okay, you can do it. No, why? Why would you think that's acceptable? Because you are mentally ill. You are a sick, disgusting person. And that's where I'm torn on people leaving Flat Earth, right? I don't want Dick Wayne to stop being a Flat Earther. Dick Wayne being a Flat Earther is like a sign, like he tattooed, mentally ill on his forehead, right? That's what Dick Wayne is doing by being a Flat Earther. You look at the people that are remaining in Flat Earth, Oakley, Quantum Eraser, Indio, gross. These people are horrible. Mikey Smith, right now he's a little different, right? He's different type of mental illness for him, right? Scum, David Kane, filth, absolute filth, right? You go on Facebook and you look at these people posting stuff. Q Balla, Kevin John. He's not right. The guy's a 51-year-old bike messenger boy. And he's what he likes to do is he likes to personally insult people. Right? They push it past that line. Right? So yeah, King Nico, right? Edward Hendry, mentally ill. Right? He actually thinks that if people went to Punta Arenas that they wouldn't see the sun setting south of due west and rising south of due east. He actually thinks that. He's that mentally ill. You could just go there, Edward Hendry, and see for yourself. But no. He thinks that he's such an expert in analyzing video that he's going to analyze video, zero expertise in the topic, and find it all faked. It's all faked because he pre-selected, the necessary outcome. So yeah, Dick Wayne, seriously, where did you study human psychology? Legit calling me mentally ill. Yes, you are mentally ill. Why? Because the only thing you believe you know about me is that I find your beliefs laughable. No, Dick Wayne, you are mentally ill because you did not come on the correct side of David Kane and Keith Reynolds making those accusations. Now, this is an easy test. Super easy. If you aren't offended by that kind of sickness, you are mentally ill. Right? He accused her of being a prostitute. The village bicycle, he said. And you're just like, oh, that's okay. That's why you are mentally ill, Dick Wayne. Because you didn't have a problem with that. Normal people do. Even people that don't agree with you on topics don't find that acceptable. but you find it acceptable, right? So, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump to where Dirthball starts talking about his app because it's important. This was not long ago. So let's see here. Got the look forward here. Man, he talks about his app a lot. 40 minute today. All right, 40:22. Let's see if we got it there. So this is his copy of it, and he actually inserts an ad for his app in the middle of this this stream here. I don't know if we'll get to it or not. I don't think we will. If we do, we'll jump it. But so here are 40 minutes at 22 seconds. We'll see what he has here.
Good question. My suggestion would be to stop Googling, stop going to school, get out of school immediately.
Oh my gosh, don't do that. The people that made the web browser we're using, the cameras that you're using, Dave, the phones that your garbage app runs on, the microphone that you're talking into, they all went to school, Dave. Stop using their stuff if you're going to not accept school.
Right. And start making your own choices, looking at information. I tell people, don't believe anything I tell you.
This is the absolute, pay attention. Pay attention to how this scammer manipulates the audience. It's about to do it. Just watch.
Give you resources.
Don't believe anything he says. He's going to give you resources.
Start looking into the old world. Start looking into the physics of this world. And then you'll understand that nothing is the way they tell you.
Oh, well, Dave, do tell us. How could we find out all of this information for ourselves, Dave?
Right here is, this is the old world button. I don't know.
Oh, you take the curated information that he presented you. You know, pay him money and then take the curated information that he wants to give you. Yeah, do your own research as long as that research is watching the things that he wants to give you.
If I had that, whoops, last time you were here, but on the old world button, there's amazing stuff. You have the app? You got the app, right?
I don't.
Oh, good. Don't get it. Fantasia, don't get it. Don't get the app.
You get the app. You need to get the app. All right. There's my suggestion. Get the app.
Don't get the app. It will leak your data.
Why? Yeah, let's think. One, because I want your $3. That's
of course
true. It helps me keep doing this. So give me your $3, right? But it's the best $3 you'll ever spend.
No, it's not. You will pay him money to leak your data.
I'm a scammer.
That's because he's a scammer. That's right.
I'm an idiot.
Yes, you are an idiot.
Right here is a new video that came out since we last talked. It'll blow your mind.
So this old world stuff is all Tartaria nonsense, mud flood stuff. It's so dumb. You have to be an absolute moron. Like, what do you have to be, Dave? What do you have to be in order to believe that stuff?
I'm insane. I'm an idiot.
There you go. There's the criteria.
It's called hidden grids, the old world, right? Oh, no, actually, I'm my bad. That's a whole nother channel I added here. This one, the our history in a different view, mind blowing. Then have you started watching My Lunch Break? My Lunch Break on YouTube. You don't even need to get the app. Go on YouTube, search My Lunch Break or Rumble or anywhere else. Search My Lunch Break. Start watching those videos.
Remember, this series of words began with "Don't believe anything he says," but definitely only look at the things he says to look at.
Don't believe anything he says. Go verify everything, right? And then
just make sure that you only do it by looking at the things he's handed you.
And when you start unplugging from this heliocentric hypothesis, you start seeing the world for what it is. Things become more interesting. Fear leaves you. When fear leaves you, health and expansion happens, right?
Oh my gosh.
I was talking about air a minute ago, right? Hey, everybody, quick message that I'd like to share.
So there's his ad, right? He's whatever he's selling here. And why are you selling so much stuff?
Dave Weiss is a scammer. He's just trying to sell his app.
That's right. All right.
Hey, we need to breathe. What happens if you stop breathing? Your heart,
You die.
Well, the first thing is you lose consciousness. Your heart's still beating, your brain's still working, right? But you lose consciousness. Maybe we're breathing in consciousness.
What?
And the other thing is,
oh my gosh, I didn't hear this the first time through. Maybe we're breathing in consciousness. Oh, Dave, you're so dumb. Oh my gosh, Dave.
I'm stupid.
Yes, you're so stupid.
Water. When you look at water, water gives life, right? Water is everywhere. Nowhere in the Bible does it talk about God creating water. Water just exists. It's everywhere. I believe it's above the firmament. It's everywhere. It's in the earth. Primary water.
Like it existed before. God didn't create water. It was there before God created. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. His theology is so dumb.
Right? Well, there's no water shortage. This earth is mostly water. Okay.
No, it's not. The surface is. It doesn't go that deep.
Right. And so some people have speculated that water, a drop of water holds terabytes of information. So we want to talk about the non-physical heavenly realms. Look up at the clouds just right above us. Non-physical water in like beautiful clusters. When the way clouds used to be, cumulus clouds, before they started
the way they used to be. They're still like that, Dave.
Spraying them?
How do you know, Dave? Contrails have existed all of your life. You're not 175 years old like you look.
Right? They want you to believe that the spraying is weather control. It probably is a little bit of weather control too, but literally it destroys the cumulus clouds and turns them into slurry. There's a spiritual war going on in the heavens right above you, and you can look at it every day. Just go outside and look.
He's so dumb.
Okay? And so our connection to those clouds, to that heavenly realm, is being disrupted. Right? Water and air, the yin and the yang, you can create water from air and you can create air from water. Right? So maybe water and air is what God is and where God is. Where's God? He's all around us.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That's all nonsense. All right. I got another thing here. An hour and jeez. It's just, there's only so much woo you can take.
In the show. It's an amazing show that we're having right now.
Oh, I gotta go a little farther here. 43 seconds.
And I highly encourage you to get the app.
Don't get the app.
I appreciate it.
Don't help him.
Join my Patreon.
Don't do that.
If you really wanted to help.
Nope.
But the app is $3 one-time charge. Now there is some, if you want to join the social media part of the app.
Oh, by the way, all of the social media part of the app you can access for free through his incredibly insecure app.
If you want to be able to message other people, you can receive messages. If you want to create meetups.
All these things can be done without, paying for access. Also, it turns out you can give anybody a subscription. It's just a flag that needs to be updated, which can be updated because the app is insecure.
You want to use the dating feature? It's $11 a year.
Or free because there's no security on it.
Okay. Now, any of you in the dating world, the like Match.com, I think it's like $40 a month, right? Mm-hmm. At least these people on here are awake and aware to all of the nonsense.
Yes, Rodman, she buys all this crap, just gobbles it up.
In the world. So you have more in common with every one of those blue dots than you do with any dating site we'll ever hook you up with. All right. So that's it. FlatEarthDave.com. But if you don't want to get the app, that's fine. Scroll down to where it says Crash Course.
So by the way, somebody edited Dave's profile because you can do that because there's no security. And said, so I got screenshots. Somebody said, I don't know who did it. I'm like, don't do that because I'm doing a presentation. By the way, I'm doing a presentation on May. Hold on. in Florida at Canaveral, May 15. I'm giving a presentation at Hack Space Con. I've mentioned it before. If you're interested, I can get a limited number of free tickets maybe to it. Got my wife free ticket, and I got one other free ticket. I think I might have another 3 free tickets I can get. So if you're interested, if you're going to be there, then let me know, send me a DM somehow, and I might be able to get you a free ticket to come in. Otherwise, we will be doing a meetup while we're down there, maybe one of the nights that week of the 13, 14, or 15, one of those evenings of May. Anyway, I'm giving a presentation. Don't destroy his app completely until after that, please. Please, after that, then whatever. I can't even, I'm supposed to say don't do it. Don't be naughty, okay? Don't be naughty. But I can't say it with any feeling. I just can't.
And watch the first 5 videos there, and then you'll be a flat earther.
There's no... I watched them. I'm not a flat earther. Dave's just lying. It's because I'm not dumb like Dave is, and like his marks are.
Way. There's videos by military whistleblowers.
No, there aren't. Oh my gosh.
There's astronauts whistleblowing.
There's no whistleblower astronauts. There's no pilot whistleblowers.
It's and just well put together documentaries. Amazing stuff.
All of it's lies. Anyway, all right. That's all I could do. That's all I can handle. He's such a scum. You're such scum, Dave. Absolute filth, Dave. You are scum. Your app is still leaking. You're like, oh, go buy it. Don't buy it. Don't run it. Don't install it. It's garbage. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All of these, whistleblowers on what astronaut whistleblowers? They've orbited the globe. When you say astronaut, they've been above the Kármán line. What whistle could they blow about the globe? They could blow the whistle that the Earth is a globe. Whoop-de-doo. We already know that. Oh, my. DP Debunk says, I feel vindicated. I made it about as far as he did with that video. Yeah. Make sure you go. It's linked up here. Make sure you go let Fantasia know what you think about Dave. I'm not telling you your opinion. I want you to let her know your opinion. This is the thing. Dave gets his idiots to go and comment on those videos, and then other people look at it like, oh, yay, so good. Yeah. Because they're in a cult, right? They want more people to join the cult, right? People in Scientology need more people to join Scientology, right? People in Flat Earth cult, they desperately want other people to join the cult. People are leaving the cult. I'm the Craig right here. We got Melodome coming later. We got Landry. Landry escaped. Good for him. We got, of course, the big 3, Robbie, Paul, Patricia. Good for them. Jaron, of course, is knocking it out of the park every day. Shifty here, the first one after a TFE. Always glad to see him here in the chat. So I don't know. There's more, but yes, Landry escaped. Hey, Veritas is here. I'm a free thinker. Just parrot. Dave's whole deal. Don't believe anything I say, but definitely go watch all the videos that I gave you. That's it. It's how cults do indoctrination. Everybody else is lying except for us. Here's all of the information that you need in order to know the real truth. Don't look at anything else, and don't allow any contrarian voices to be said. Right? That Dave purifies his echo chamber. Any channel where he's a moderator on, if anybody shows up there, he's deleting their comments, banning them from the channel. That's cult behavior. When somebody leaves Scientology, what did Scientology do? They attacked him. They went after him. That's what cults do when people figure out that it's a cult. And they leave. Right? And it's partly to protect their image, so they can keep doing more proselytizing and fooling new people into the cult. But it's also to appease the people in the cult, to try to, keep them in. Don't let them think for themselves. Don't let them dare not have a contrarian word allowed into the cult. You look at Dave's comment section. He does not like to have people in there that disagree with him. He won't allow it. Right? Yeah, remember that stream when we were all getting blocked live? Got 12 accounts blocked. Yes. Dave's got the fastest blocking, banning trigger finger in the West. Right? He is fast on banning channels. Right? Flatzoid, he's pretty good. He's pretty good banning channels. But Dave, Dearth, he's got it down. I mean, he is the king of banning channels. He is so good at censorship. Dearth loves censorship. He can't get enough of it. Yeah. Bruce Wolford says, because those leaving weakens their grift, that means losing out on that sweet, sweet grifted money. It does. It's a smaller base to draw from. So, all right. Icider74 says he has how that works completely wrong. It's the position that is different, not the timing. The size of Venus only helps make the math easy. Yes. And of course, that's the case, right? If Venus is a slightly different size, say it's, half the size, the math is a little more difficult. Also, if you look at one of the other challenges to get more precise using the transit of Venus is as Venus is getting completely eclipsed by the sun, there's a little bit of bleed right there because the sun's very bright. And so there's right on that edge, right when it's just, right? So here's the edge of the sun, right? I'll try to, right? Edge of the sun, and right when the full disk of Venus is covered or covering the sun, there's just a little bit of it's almost like a meniscus on either top and bottom on the edges of it that reduces the precision a little bit. It's tough to do with that bright of a thing behind it. Ian Regan says mental illness is a debilitating condition affecting lots of intelligent folks with no correlation to vileness. Not good to conflate the two, Mike. Yeah? Are they mentally ill? I think they are. So, I mean, I could be, if I'm wrong on that. All right. And there are people that are mentally ill that are not, that aren't fine. You're right. But there is a disproportionately large number of people in Flat Earth. I think Flat Earth is a gill net for that type of people. Right? Go look at them. Why is it so common that they're a fan of the Mustache Men? Why is it? Why is it so common that they're just happy to throw out, false accusations about doing things sexually? Why is it that they're so eager to do that? Maybe it's something other than mental illness. I don't know. All right. Anyway, Judge Rightly says her face says it all. Icider74 says he's not religious. He's quasi-religious. He says what he thinks his marks want to hear. 100% Icider74. That is absolutely it. Dave Weiss is a non-practicing Jew by blood, right? He's a Jew. He's Jewish by heritage, but he's not practicing. He doesn't regularly read the Bible. He isn't, to my knowledge, going to a religious ceremony with other people regularly. He says what he needs in order to sell his app and to keep the people believing his nonsense. Derek T says you could use it to rule out potential dates. Yeah, that's a good use of Dave's app. Like, you could say, all right, well, go check. Make sure they're not listed in there. Monkey Cat Pat Pad says for $2 for the grift, thank you. You added to the, what did I say, 14 million for the night? 14 million and two. Awesome. Bill Garrett says we're lucky we got flat earth instead of zetetic chemistry. There'd be a bunch of anti-science cultists doing alchemy in their sheds, and then boom. That would, well, I mean, there's benefits to that. It's a little, kind of, you only get so many of them. They don't last too long. Tomfoolery for 14 Canadian dollars says, John LeBon just posted a vid reflecting on past Flat Earth interviews, the Ball Earth Skeptic Roundtable. He's moved on from that, but still questions the spinning ball model. Have you heard of him? I have heard of him. He was one of, the 2015, he was interviewing people about it. And like last year, he interviewed Will Duffy, and he had some things to say about people like me that were still, countering Flat Earth. And his position at the time seemed to be that he didn't think that people should confront Flat Earthers. I think. Right? But anyway, there's an early video of John LeBon and Dearth that will be coming to light in the future. M. Shedler, 49 for $10 says, some more grift money for you. Don't share any with Dick Wayne. Okay. None for you, Dick Wayne. None for you. All right. Well, Dick Wayne tried to defend himself. So here's what I'll just ask. Hey, Dick Wayne, will you publicly denounce Fakatzoid and his jerkle for saying those things that they said and allowing them to go unchecked? Will you publicly denounce them? You could do it in the comments on the video here, and I'll pin that. Should you denounce it? That would then totally take away all the things I said about you, wouldn't it? Will you do that? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, in 8 minutes, we'll be on with Melodome. It's going to be pretty cool. I hope you stick around for that. This will link you there. You don't need to do anything and you'll show up there. But I hope that on the way out, you could appreciate this little song that is definitely likes to get stuck in your head. It gets stuck in my head. I know I will be having this song go through my head all day tomorrow. Anyway, we'll see you later.
Pick it up. Is it dirt? Is it potato? Watch the screen and wait for the show. What's revealed, we're dying to know. Is it dirt or a potato? Check it out. Dirt or potato? Yes, I'm right, let's go. Dirt or potato? It's the game that steals the show. Look at the picture, don't make a mistake. Is it a spud or is it a face? Out of the ground or from his own behind? Dirt or potato, what will you find? Right on! Yo, can you tell what's underneath? A derpy mugshot or a root beneath? With every guess, we laugh and cheer. Is it dirt for a potato? Let's make it clear. Hang it up, give it a show. Dirt for potato, let's go. Skank it out. Is it from the dirt or a funny disguise? Could it be a tater or a pair of eyes? What's in the ground or lurking around? Dirt or potato, where will it be found? Could it be smooth or full of lumps? Maybe it's grown on someone's big rump. Get your guess in, let's see what's true. Dirt or potato, it's all up to you. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at the picture, don't make a mistake. Is it a spud or is it a face? Out of the ground or from his own behind? Dirt or potato, what will you find? A pile of soil or a starchy friend? Guess it right and you'll ascend. Look real close, don't let it slide. Is it dirt or a potato waiting inside? Let's go, rude boys. On the garden patch or a silly trick, will you pick the right one or end up quick? Whether it's dirt or a golden spud, dirt or potato, here comes the flood. A mystery unfolds, what will it be? A lovely spot or dirt, can't you see? With every reveal, we're in for a laugh. Dirt or potato, it's the ultimate craft. Dirt or potato, guess it right, let's go. Dirt or potato, it's the game that steals the show. Beneath the earth or just pretend, a lump of soil or some dumb trend. Pick your choice, don't hesitate. Dirt or potato, now seal your fate. What's in the box, what will appear? A mash of dirt or something unclear. Make your move, we're almost through. Dirt or potato, it's all on you. Will it be fries or a dirty pile? Guess it wrong and we'll laugh for a while. Test your luck, it's time to go. Dirt or potato, let the guessing flow.